Let's move on to the harassment. So we've got this dog. I think 3 a.m. is about the time here. Let's see. No, 5 a.m. This is me making a bunch of noise through the microphone on my phone to try to scare off the dog. Which worked. And then you got this dog, which is right next door to us. They had that dog at the time. Almost looks like it has mange or something. I don't know. That dog did not look healthy. When I saw it. Just kind of roaming around. No leash. You can see the date and time there. And then we got this. The grandma of the group. Running around. Dog no leash. Not really trying to control it much. Then we've got, again, the Chihuahua just out. Just cuz. It's actually there to harass us. It's there to bark at us if we go outside. That's what they're doing this for. And also, so that they can bring their dogs down here. Generally, if they have the dog on a leash, they're bringing it to our yard so that it can pee and poop in our yard. In our front yard. That's generally, if they have it on a leash, that's generally what they're doing that for. But lately, they've been just kind of getting them to follow them to our yard. I mean, you can see he has no control over the dog. The dog's not listening. It's just doing whatever the hell it wants to do. Unsupervised. And let's see. Oh, dog was in our yard. Oh yeah, the lady that called the cops. Oh, here we go. That's her dog. At 9 p.m. Just roaming around. No supervision. Oh, and here we go. This is the guy that verbally assaulted me. Same guy that was standing by the SUV with the little Chihuahua. Yeah. Same dude. Called me a bitch when he was standing there blocking the road, letting two dogs just run around in the street. No leash. Not trying to control them. I will reiterate. In Harris County, it is illegal for any dog at all to be off a leash. And what do we have here? It's not a small dog. No leash. Not trying to control it. I don't even know if these dogs are up to date on their stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if they're up to date on shots and rabies and what kind of meds or any of that stuff, or even if they're chipped. Our dog, she stays in our backyard and in my room in the house strictly. Got a collar for her with a tag. Anytime she leaves the house, she's on a harness that also has a tag with a thick braided lead. That way I know she can't get away from me even though she only has 3 legs. And I keep her on a tight leash because she likes to bark at other dogs. So when we go to the vet and I catch her doing it, I scold her because I don't want her acting aggressive like that. But these people, oh no. Just let the dogs roam around and you know, my parents walked the street one time and they had one of those chihuahuas yapping and trying to bite at my mother's ankles. They didn't do anything about it for, I don't know, let's say 30 seconds before putting in the littlest effort to call off the dog. I should still have footage somewhere of the other chihuahua chasing me. We'll get to it. So yet again, there is a dog out without a leash. Put up with this a lot. Used to be almost every day, now they're just kind of trying to sneak it in. I have no idea, to be honest, if this thing's been vaccinated or not. Really wouldn't seem to be. But yeah, I put up with that all the time. And that dog, they don't do a very good job of controlling it. And it bites at people. But yeah, here we go. Dog just roaming around. They're not making any attempt to control it. Not even the slightest bit. As a matter of fact, he seems to try to encourage the dog to go into our yard. Now, I should mention that every house on this block, and I mean every single house on this street, has a good-sized backyard. No leash, no collars, nothing. There's just nothing. Now, it's a little darker out than I would like, but I want you to take a gander at just how big this backyard is, okay? You could fit a 20-plus foot pool here on this little brick thing that we kind of slapped together. I mean, you still got more room over here to keep going. Over to this fence over here. I mean, there's just room everywhere. There's a shed, decently sized shed. There's all this room back here for these dogs to exist, okay? But no. You know where they put the dogs? Out in the street and taken to our front yard. That's where they keep their dogs. Okay, well, I just came back from taking the clip that you just saw outside. But I just realized that my recording software was still paused, so I'll go back over this footage with you real quick. This dog was living next door to us. I have a photo of their gate just being wide open. So I'll throw that up here if I can find that. But this dog was just, just out, unsupervised, running around, doing, I don't know. It's just there. They just left their gate open. And then got some more chihuahuas. Now I want you to take note of this spot here, okay? See where that dog is running around? I want you to take note of that, okay? Take a mental note of that. Just be like, okay, that area. All right? You're gonna notice a trend here. Okay? Now, parents are leaving to go somewhere, and well, there comes that chihuahua running down the street after the car. And funny enough, at the same area, there's another chihuahua there. And then same dog. There's like 3 houses that this dog stays at. There's the house next to us, and then there's this house, and then the house right across from it. That's like the 3 confirmed locations that I've seen this dog come from that yard. You can see though, like that lady over there is related to the person that owns that dog. They're not doing anything to try to control it. This guy as well. And well, you know, they let the dog out and not doing anything about it. No leash. Not trying to control it. They just let it out. Comes down here. Now, see that spot there? Remember how I told you to take note of that area? Yeah. Remember how that chihuahua was chasing my mother's car? See, the thing is, that spot right there, they like to set up that little location to mess with us. Okay? They like to use that spot to mess with us while we're either leaving or coming back. And that holds true for the beginning of this video here, as holds same location. Same location. You remember how I said there's a bunch of Hispanics ganging up on us? Also, I do want to point out that this guy likes to park his car illegally far from the curb. I've got a couple photos of that. I don't know if I want to edit them in. I mean, you can clearly see here. But yeah, he likes to do that on purpose to try to narrow that area over there. Probably to try to create more of a roadblock using that car. But you can see here, you know, the dogs are in the street and they're in the way. But you see how he calls them away this time for that truck? He actually makes an effort to control the dogs and get them out of the way. That's because the guy driving that truck is Hispanic and he's renting a house from them. Yeah. Imagine dealing with that sound almost every other day. It's pretty annoying. Especially when it goes up and down the street doing that. And then here we go again. His wife. 2 chihuahuas, no leash. Not really trying to control them. And then my camera barely caught the tail end of this, but there's my mother coming back, and well, guess what's in the middle of the street? And then we got the grandma again with the dog. You can see it running around over there by that SUV. And then they all walk by. I'm going to show you this guy. This is the guy that I said may or may not be half Hispanic or something, but it looks to be white. Yeah, they're hanging out with him. Dog off a leash. He likes to bring a dog down here off a leash as well, quite a bit, actually. I've got lots of footage of that. Here's the grandma again. And what does she go over there and let out? Some dogs. Making no effort to control them. Yet again. Goes over there. Camera kind of cuts off, but you can see the dog right there. Oh, hold on. Oh, you see it? Did you see it running there? Goes over there probably just to let the dog out. You'll see it running around over here. There it is. Now, I want to make it very clear that these people have been informed that Harris County has a law against no leash with your dog. Now, these people have intentionally let these dogs sit in the middle of the road. They have brought their dogs down to our house on a leash, off a leash, and stopped here at our front yard to get their dogs to go into our yard and piss and poop all in our yard. They have done that on more than one occasion, and that's why when every time you see a dog running loose and it's hanging around our house, it's because they trained it to do that. Why else would a dog just be let loose into the street with no attendants and no leash and just run straight to our yard? This guy, you know, the one that I said earlier verbally assaulted me, he has at times come down to our house at 3 in the morning and just stood in front of our house with his dogs in our yard. His chihuahuas. He's come down here at 3 a.m. to do that. I showed you the backyards. Every house on this street has a backyard like that. Every last one of them. So, can't give me the story of, oh, well, they don't have a yard for it. Okay, well, first off, you can see the amount of yard each one of these houses has. And I showed you the backyard. And our dog stays in our backyard, which is all fenced off, by the way. Every house has a fenced off backyard. So, there's really no excuse for the behavior. Like, none. Nothing. Again, not really controlling a dog. Just letting it run loose. And then right here, yet again, dog is running around in the street. No attempt to control it. It's just doing it. And then, you know, just gives up on the dog and turns around and heads home. Because they can't control the dog. It's a simple fact of the matter. Then here we have me coming home. And what do we have running down the street after my truck? As a matter of fact, no, this isn't the one where they ran after me. This is the one where they're just in the street. About 3 different chihuahuas, roughly, or just general small dogs. Just running around. Unattended. Nobody's doing anything about them. Not coming after their dogs or anything. There's also cats that just run around. Here we go. Chihuahuas running down the street, and guess where they're headed? Yep. None other than here. Why is that? Couldn't be that they brought them down here and were training them to come down here on their own. No, it couldn't be that. So enough of this, right, for now. Let's go find some footage that I have that literally puts them in a position where I have them training the dog to come down here on its own. I have footage of that. This is the kind of stuff we always have to put up with. They let these dogs run around. The only way to keep them off our yard, using the hose. It's literally the only way to keep them away because they won't control their dogs. So what do I have to do? I have to get a hose out. I want to reiterate as well with something with this, or not reiterate, but just iterate in general. This footage is old. This is really old footage. This goes back to like 2014, something like that. Oh, and here we go with this as well. Guess where they ran? Next door. As I stated, you have to excuse me, I've got a lot of footage of these people doing things to harass us. Maybe you remember that guy that I was talking about? The white guy? Yeah. He does this, like, or he was doing it about maybe 3 times a week. He started off doing it every other night. Then he started doing it 3 times a week. Now he's barely doing it. But yeah, no, he would walk down here with this dog and some other dog off a leash every so often. Like so. Comes down to here, turns around, and walks back. Has stopped at our house with this dog. Want you to keep that in mind. Oh yeah, so here's the footage that I got on our security cameras of them walking down here to train the dog to come down here on its own, or an attempt to anyway. Comes down here and stops here, trying to get the dog to go in our yard possibly, and then he gives the dog a treat for coming down here in front of our house and by our mailbox. And then, well, runs off. Literally. What's that about? See, the thing that these people are doing to us, I wouldn't even fathom doing to somebody else. I wouldn't take my dog over to their yard at 3 a.m. to go take a shit in their grass in their front yard when I have a backyard that I can let her into. I wouldn't take my dog down in front of their house off a leash and give her a treat in front of their house and try to get my dog to go down to their house unsupervised by herself at night or during the day. I wouldn't continually bring my dogs down to their yard or my dog off a leash and stop in front of their house trying to get my dog to use their yard as a personal toilet. You know what I do? I keep my dog under control. I keep my dog in my backyard. I keep my dog on a leash. And I do my best to discipline her. But what are they doing? Well, none of that. So they have the audacity to harass us for years on end. Because see, the thing is, I grew up in this house. And they have the audacity to do all that I listed off. And also use their dogs as a blockade in the road to try to stop us from leaving our house or coming back to the house. And the thing is, right, we live on a dead-end street. It's a T-shaped kind of road. There's only one way in and out. So it's not like I could just go take another route to get out of here. Can't do that. So, yeah. I have no choice but to deal with the dog blockade and the dog harassment because it's the only direction that I can go. And so they do all that stuff, and then they have the audacity to call the cops on me, filed a false police report, harassed me in the road, threatened me, verbally assaulted me, have their dogs off a leash, and then try to weaponize the police. So what you're telling me is that the police will reply to a false report, but they won't reply to us when we make a call about some dude standing out at our curb with a gun. Is that how it is, HPD? Is that how it is? So you're going to stalk me when I'm a minor? When I was learning to drive my pickup truck? You're going to follow me around town, try to intimidate me. You're going to set up locations where you're going to have a car parked there in a spot where you really shouldn't be parked because it's a main road entry and, 18-wheelers need that space to pull into the road because it's a business district. So you're going to have a car set up there pointed in my direction as I come home, and you're going to stalk me and tail me, but you're not going to reply to an actual issue of somebody standing at a curb with a gun? It's a crazy world we're living in, people. I don't want this video going on too long, so I've shown you more than enough video, I feel, for you to draw your own conclusion. But what I'll tell you, the viewer, is that the Freemasons are behind all of this. I have a video talking about who the Freemasons really are. It was an eye-opener for me. I re-uploaded a video that my dad had found. Let's go take a look at it. It's going on 12 a.m. here. I'm going to go drink a beer. Do my best to try to relax. I presented to you my evidence, and I rest my case.